Alright, so if we're talking pure numbers, the Tesla Model Y technically wears the crown as the world's best-selling vehicle. But here in the US, at least where I'm at, the real street king is the Toyota RAV4. Dealerships can barely keep them on the lot. Everyone knows exactly what it is. You see them everywhere. People drive these things past 200,000 miles, and they just keep going. And believe it or not, I'd never actually tested one until now, so I was genuinely excited to finally get behind the wheel and find out what makes the RAV4 so loved. Wait, hold on. Is that the RAV4? Oh, right. This isn't just any RAV4. This is the GR RAV4. In a world where the RAV4 is already the go-to crossover, the IT vehicle, this is the most exciting version of that formula. Normally, the RAV4 is known for being practical. It's efficient. This one's a hybrid. It delivers great fuel economy, solid durability, and a relaxed, comfortable driving experience. But what if Toyota decided to add a little spice? What if there was a more aggressive, sport-inspired take on the RAV4? No, you're probably not taking your RAV4 to a racetrack. But Toyota has introduced an all-new GR-themed sport package for the RAV4. And surprisingly, it's actually pretty exciting. So let me show you why this is the most fun RAV4 ever made. But first, let's cover the basics. Powering this RAV4 is a hybrid setup that moves Toyota's flagship crossover forward. Under the hood, there's a 2.5-liter inline-4 paired with 3 electric motors. Power goes through a CVT, and a 22 kW battery pack sits underneath, giving you up to around 50 miles of pure electric driving if you want it. Yes, you can plug this one in. When everything works together, the system delivers roughly 320 horsepower. That's enough to launch this crossover from 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds. Now, this next part might not sound flashy or thrilling for a car review, but it's important. After living with this car for a week, I can confidently say this RAV4 absolutely nails the fundamentals. Every basic thing a car should do, it does well, and that matters more than people realize. Let's start with the exterior. I'll point out the elements specific to this GR Sport version, but first, just look at the proportions. This is a genuinely good-looking vehicle. The red paint, black roof, and sport wheels give it a sharp athletic vibe. It's simple, but it works. Around back, the GR Edition adds a rear spoiler that actually provides a bit of functional downforce. And when you get to the tailgate, automatic opening of course, you're greeted with a subtle GR badge and a massive cargo area. The rear seats fold down for even more space. They don't power fold back up, so you'll have to lift them manually, a small downside, but it's easy enough. And I've got to say, the taillight design looks really clean too. Not a full light bar, but close, giving the rear a modern wide stance look. The shape is a little boxy, but that's actually a good thing. It means you get real headroom in the back, instead of those sloping roof lines that look sporty but steal space from rear passengers. Let me hop into the back seat, right behind my own driving position. And as you can see, legroom is solid. It's not limousine level, but it's absolutely comfortable. No complaints here. There's some storage tucked into the doors, soft touch panels where your elbows rest, a small cubby down low, and the rear speakers, which we'll talk about in a bit. You've also got rear air vents, and 2 15-watt wired charging ports. Nice touch. And headroom? Plenty of it. Big thumbs up. But there's more going on here. The rear left side is where the fuel tank sits. Something you might actually forget about, because this thing sips fuel. On the highway, just cruising, you're looking at around 30 to 35 miles per gallon. And when you switch to EV-only mode, it's completely silent. Super useful for city driving. The charging port lives up front. Pop it open, and that 22 kW battery charges at a decent pace. No need for ultra-fast supercharging. It's designed for easy, everyday plug-in use. And honestly, that's all you really need. Now take another look at the front. This is a bold, aggressive face. The standard RAV4 is usually pretty tame, but this GR Sport version steps it up. Big grille, sharp lines, sporty vents that mimic performance car intakes. They may not be full functional air scoops, but visually, it works. It looks properly athletic. All right. It's freezing out here. My hands are done, so let's jump inside. Metal sport pedals, GR floor mats, GR badges scattered around. And the moment you sit in the driver's seat, it becomes very clear why this is such a popular SUV. Everywhere you look, it just gets the basics right. So what's the first thing people usually mention when they talk about why they want an SUV like this? They want to sit higher. And yes, you definitely feel elevated in here. Visibility is another big one. And honestly, the visibility in this RAV4 is close to perfect. Rear view? Excellent. Over the shoulder checks? Clear. The pillars aren't overly thick, so you're never fighting blind spots. That's a major fundamental, and Toyota nailed it. Now let's start it up. Foot on the brake, press the push to start button, and the digital display behind the steering wheel lights up with a GR startup animation. Nice little touch. Front and center is the larger 12.9-inch touchscreen that comes with this GR package. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay, all the features you'd expect, and Toyota's familiar interface. But after using the car daily, I do have a couple of small nitpicks. Nothing major, just things worth mentioning. First, media controls. You've got buttons on the steering wheel for volume and track skipping, but there's no play/pause button. Why? Sometimes you just want to pause your music quickly. It feels like a strange omission. Second, the climate controls. You do get physical buttons for temperature up and down, which is great, but fan speed is controlled by tiny buttons, and for the rest of the HVAC settings you have to dive into the touchscreen menu. I just wish there were one or two more physical controls. A dedicated fan speed knob would make a big difference. Again, small complaints, but in a car that gets so much right, they stand out just a little. Everything else in here is honestly just right. You've got a wireless phone charger, a drive mode selector, extra storage space in the center, and a leather-wrapped shifter with red stitching. There's a dedicated camera view button, ports for wired charging if you prefer that, cup holders, brake hold, and the electronic parking brake. One clever touch I really like. The center console opens from both sides. The passenger has their own release button, and the driver has a separate one. It's a small detail, but it's smart engineering. Material quality is exactly what you'd expect from a RAV4, mostly durable black plastics, with some soft touch trim where it matters. But the GR version steps it up with the seats. You get Alcantara in the center, solid side bolstering, and a snug, sporty feel. It keeps you comfortable even if you're pretending to do some spirited driving. And again, the fundamentals are all here. Wireless, Apple CarPlay, wireless charging, simple functional layout. You don't get some ultra-luxury extras. No panoramic sunroof, no fancy digital rear-view mirror, just a traditional mirror. But visibility is excellent anyway, so it doesn't feel like a loss. Now when it comes to driving, no, you're not taking a RAV4 to a racetrack. And while 320 horsepower isn't supercar territory, a 0-60 time of around 5.6 seconds is more than quick enough for real-world use. What this GR package really focuses on is feel and presence. Toyota says the suspension and steering have been specially tuned for this version. And while I haven't pushed a standard RAV4 hard enough to do a scientific comparison, I can say this: the sporty design package absolutely works. The aggressive front grille, red paint, black roof, Alcantara interior, it all comes together to make this feel like a special version of an already popular SUV. And on the road, it still delivers exactly what the RAV4 is known for: comfort, ease, and everyday usability. Fuel efficiency is still excellent. The ride remains smooth and comfortable, not stiff or punishing. I still remember driving a heavily sport-tuned crossover once that felt way too firm for daily use. This isn't that. This stays soft, composed, and easy to live with. Tons of visibility, plenty of space, and it cruises effortlessly. Honestly, I really like it. Now, the price is where things get interesting. At the time of filming this, Toyota hasn't officially announced pricing for the GR RAV4, but expectations put it somewhere in the $50,000 to $55,000 range. So yes, you're paying extra for the sporty styling and the GR package. The standard RAV4 is still fantastic for all the same reasons: efficiency, comfort, storage, and everyday usability. The fundamentals are simply strong across the board. You've got practical storage up top, thoughtful cabin design, and oh, I almost forgot, the speakers. I paired my phone through Bluetooth, and honestly, the sound system is surprisingly good for this class. You don't usually get impressive audio in mainstream crossovers, but this one delivers. And remember, this is still a pre-production prototype, so for a vehicle that isn't even fully finalized yet, it's already doing a great job of impressing me and making a strong case for itself in the crossover space. Now the biggest argument against the GR RAV4? It's quick, but it's not ridiculous. It's not Tesla Model Y performance quick. If your priority is raw acceleration and instant electric punch, then the Model Y performance, sitting closer to the 60K mark, might be the better pick. Of course, that's fully electric, and comes with a totally different ownership experience. Maybe I'll get my hands on one of those soon too, but for now, I want to hear from you. Is this sporty GR RAV4 something you'd actually consider? Or am I just getting excited about another red and black performance package like I always do? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.